Okay, thank you so much for joining us today. Our speaker is Dr. Maryna Tsehelska, who holds a Ph.D. in linguistics. She's dedicated to advancing language understanding and pedagogical techniques. With a foundation in Systemic Functional Linguistics, SFL, she's a leading advocate for its integration into education in Ukraine. Her expertise lies in reshaping pedagogy, moving away from traditional methods to foster critical thinking and literacy skills. Her work as a director of studies and owner of the educational center Interclass showcases the transformative potential of SFL in enriching learning environments. Through research, lectures, and real-world applications, Dr. Maryna emphasizes empowering learners for a brighter educational future. And she was one of our presenters at our 2023 conference in February. Participants were so enthused about her presentation that they said, "Oh, please, can't you have her back?" So, backed by popular demand, I present to you Dr. Maryna Tsehelska. Dr. Maryna.
Thank you so much for having me, and good morning, everyone. This is an early morning in Ukraine. It is 10 a.m. and it's quite early for you as well. And I'm really glad that you have come to share with me or like to listen to my ideas and probably share your ideas and the thought and what you are doing as teachers to be more effective when we teach today's students. So let me share my screen, and today I'm going to talk about enhancing English language teaching to Generation Z or Gen Z, or we can also talk about Generation Alpha, and we will be talking about me just for a couple of seconds. Then we'll discuss who our learners are, and then I will share with you what I do as an owner of language centers, as a scientist, a researcher, and a director of studies. So a couple of words about myself. I am from Ukraine. I am in Ukraine, though there is war now. I graduated from the university, which is not in my hometown, Kryvyi Rih. Then I came back here. I am involved with Tesol Ukraine activities, and I am twice a Fulbright scholar. And since 2007, I also have a PhD, but you know about it. And I've been working at the university for more than 30 years. I still work there. But in 2007, I started my own business. It is educational center Interclass. And this year, we already developed it to bilingual schools, where subjects are taught in both English and Ukrainian. How it was possible to do, I will tell you in my presentation. You will understand what ways of teaching we used for this and how we can be more effective. But before talking about effective ways of teaching, let's have a look at who the generations are, or what the generations are, and why we're talking so much about the generation theory. Like, you know that the theory of generations says that at different historical events, different types of people grow up. Like as generations, as people, we are different. And we can see this difference from one generation to another. This is one of the charts which probably you've seen so many times. And it says that today we are mostly teaching Generation Z or Z and Gen Alpha, Generation Alpha. And most teachers are millennials, Generation X. Fewer of us are baby boomers now, though there are many baby boomers as well. And when we look at this chart, we'll see that probably our students are what we call digital natives. And we as teachers, we're digital natives as well, but we hold some different characteristics. And due to this, we probably can have some misunderstandings on how our students intake the material and how we prepare this intake. So I already showed the difference in the map, and here are the characteristics of digital natives who are born with computer devices in their hands. And now we know that we'll have a different generation of students, those who are ChatGPT natives, which is already a different generation. And these computers and devices, they greatly influenced our students. And so here you can see that I have already grouped the information the way I usually group it for the students. So here, like digital natives, the first category will be like computers and devices, how they influenced, then digital natives and what happened to them. And finally, we as teachers, what we can do or what we need to do with this. And as you've been watching this slide or you've been seeing this slide for some moments, you probably see that computers and devices provided information on all topics. So digital natives don't need to remember anything by heart. They may find everything online. And we as teachers do need to develop our students' memory. And because without the developed memory, any teaching or any learning is difficult. So then, abundance of information which computers provide developed clip thinkers in our students. Most of our students, they don't see in as linear thinkers. They don't think in big pictures. They see in clips. So our task as teachers is to transform clip thinkers into linear thinkers. So computers gave us short and catchy sentences, social nets, anything. And our students stopped thinking in longer, in longer bits of information. They usually think in tweets, in shorter bits, and if we as teachers start with small bits of information and expand those bits, it will be much more beneficial for our students than just giving them this big bulks of information. So, and finally, texts have hyperlinks, and this is a very positive moment because our students now easily switch back and forth from one topic to another. So, of course, it hampers the creation of one big picture in their heads, but still, it's a really good skill because it is so much easier for them to look for the new information and to finally find it. So, please write in the chat what are the problems that you face as teachers. And my problem, or my main problem, is, of course, this memory which is not developed, clip thinking in tweets, and also I would admit that one of the biggest problems is also a shorter attention span. So our students today don't concentrate for a long time on something. And as we as teachers, we really need to to bring them or to make them a deep learner or deep learners instead of surface learners. But how to do it, it is still the question that needs to be answered. So once again, generations are different. We as representatives of those more mature generations very often are surprised at how our students work and at how they learn, because they don't remember. It's difficult for them to remember anything by heart. They are clip thinkers. They think in short sentences, tweets, and they easily switch back and forth. We also face such problem as short attention span, much shorter than it used to be. But our goal is still the same. We need to bring our students to this deep learning phase. We really need to develop them as deep learners instead of surface learners. Yeah, so, okay. Later, I will tell you how to follow me, but let me show now you the whole map. This is the chart that shows the differences between the generations, but also I've expanded it with the remedies. What we do to make our students more effective. And these remedies are categorization. We categorize the information. We use visualization or scaffolding, develop thinking skills. Remember about the 4 phases of learning. Okay, so Heidi, you raise your hand, please.
Hi, Maryna. Could you please change the format of your screen to presentation mode?
If you want, I can, but for me it will be easier because my screen has okay, this way.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay, it will be easier for you to see. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Good. Okay, let me show how I can. Okay. Good. Yeah. So, and if we look at this chart, we'll see that, so I've already developed this part, we talked about digital natives and their teachers. And now let's talk about the remedies, what we can do with all this. Okay, I don't know who is drawing on the screen. So, the remedies are, we use categories, we use scaffolding for visualization, we develop thinking skills, and we use the 4 phases of learning. And so let's talk about this. Let's talk about this in details. So, I'm sorry. I don't know who is drawing on the screen.
I think it is some Dr. Hussain who is drawing on this.
And I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah, I can see the name Dr. Hussain.
Okay, Dr. Hussain, please stop drawing and do something with this. I don't know what to do with this. Okay, anyway, just stop doing it. So, and here are the 5 C's or Interclass system, or the 5 C's of what we do. First of all, and it is applicable to teaching any subject, but today, of course, I will be talking about English. So first of all, categories. We teach vocabulary in categories, and later I will explain why. Then C number 2, it is charts for language material. You have just seen this chart. You have just seen this chart here. So, and you see how much easier it is to present the material if we do it this way here, because we have already chunked it. We presented it in very small bits. We tried to connect it, and we also have categories. The categories here will be color-coded. So categories have also their colors. So then, connections. We drew the connections between all parts of the material. We think how it is connected, how the connections, how this topic is connected with the previous topic, and what we can do to expand those connections. It helps a lot to build this robust construction in our students' brains and to develop their memory. So next is the constant revision. So could you please share how you review, how you do the revision with your students, and what do you do to okay, so I see here, okay, so yeah, so what do you do to revise the material? Can you please share? And okay, yeah. And finally, creative thinking. We need this memory, our students' memory, but also we need to process everything that we have put in their memory. Like I really like this metaphor of our students' memory as a computer, or our students' brains as a computer, because we need this very developed memory, but we also need a processor. So memory is the language material, but the processor is what really helps to recycle this language material, to work with it, and what really helps to process it better. So, okay, so here are the main, principles of work, and let's start with the categorization. So categorization is one of the easiest thinking processes of the brain. And this is when I learned about it, when I was looking for different ways of how to enhance my students' learning, I found categorization as number one. And my idea was, if it is the easiest process of our brain, why don't we use it in teaching? Why don't we categorize, like you see here? Everything is categorized, and you can talk about any category separately, or you can teach any category separately, but then you connect the categories and you get the whole picture. You get the bigger picture. Like here, you can teach such category as computers and how they influence modern students. Then you can talk about modern students. You can talk about teachers, and you can talk about ways of working with them. But you also can do these connections, and you can start with categories, but after you do the categories, you start connecting them. Okay, Nada, please. I see you have a question.
Hi, yes. I can see in the chat that some participants are asking you to erase what was drawn on the screen. If you can, I know how to do this. You can click on the pen on the left of the screen, if you click on the screen, and then you can choose eraser, and then you can erase them.
Okay, yeah, so this is the eraser, yeah? Okay,
Yeah.
wow, magic!
Okay.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you. You know, I don't have kids
Welcome.
as students, so I never had this problem. This is for the
No,
first
no problem. I used to teach online. That's why.
Thank you so much. It really helped because it was distracting.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Nada. Yeah. So, and okay, yes. So let's probably okay, this way. Yeah. So now I hope that you got the idea of what we do, what the principles are, their categorization, visual representation or charts, connections, constant revision. I will show you how we revise, and development of thinking skills. And with you, we will be, as an example, I've taken the topic food, and I will show you how we can work with this topic using all the principles, how we categorize, how we visualize, how we connect, and how we can develop thinking skills. So, topic food, and think to yourselves when you teach food. Now I am talking about young learners, but also we can teach this way to like any age. We also teach adults, like not beginners, but mostly beginners as well. We also teach adults this way here. Yeah, so, and here are the 4 types of maps. There is the portfolio map food, yeah, so, and we'll go back to it later. And there are other maps that help us to talk about food, that help us to talk about meals, but all these maps, they contain the categories first, and they also have the visual representation. So let's look at the map. Let's have this closer look at the map. So look at the categories. What are the main categories for talking about food? So just look at the map and think to yourself, what do you do like when you teach food? So here we see that the groups, like again, these are the groups that I singled out. Maybe you will have different groups, but this is my idea, that we have fruits and vegetables, and as nutrients, we talk about vitamins, minerals, and dietary fiber. So then we have dairy products, and they also give us calcium. We have meat and fish that give proteins and fats. We have cereals, nuts, and grains that give carbohydrates, but also they give fat and sugar. So these are the basic categories. They are just for naming the foods. But we can go further and add to these categories the utensils, what we do with the food. Yeah? So we peel, we chop, dice, cut, and you see that the verbs are in arrows. We also can do the word building, like for peeling, we need a peeler, or we peel with a peeler. It's a peeled fruit. So we talk about cooking utensils. And here we already can do a bit of good speaking, because we can talk about different groups, what nutrients they give us, and how we cook them. But remember that this is only a portfolio map. So this is the map, which is not better than, let's say, a picture dictionary. Yeah? It is structured, but still we need lots of materials for our students to remember this map, because this map is like step 1. Yeah, so we have compiled information into one whole, but also we'll need to work with it. Into this map, I added shops and sellers, yeah, who sell food. Again, green grocery, and we have here vegetables and fruits, dairy, butchery, fishmongers for meat and fish, grocery for groceries, bakery and confectionery. We can also connect shops and the foods that they sell. So there are also different tastes of food and containers, but again, because there was place, and that is a good, like these are good categories that go together with the food. So what do we need now? Like, we have this wonderful portfolio map, we printed it out, we gave it to our students. So what do we need now to put this information into our students' hand? What do we need for this productive input so that we could see and understand that our students know it. And if we go back to our 5 C's, we will see that we need constant revision. So we have the categories, we created the chart, we have the connections between the categories in this chart, and now we really need constant revision. How do we do it? And here, my favorite theory is about the 4 phases of learning. And the theory says that at first, you just get the general idea of the topic. And when we present our students with this map, they usually don't read the whole map. They don't read the whole information. What they do, they just single out the categories, what the categories are, and how these categories are connected. Like here, the main categories are groups of food, nutrients, how food is cooked, where food is bought or sold, and what the containers for the food are. And this part is called the impressing. You just get the general information. So after you went through this part, like your students are impressed, they see the parts of the topic, we need to complete this picture in their heads. So, but we don't need to learn anything at once. We never teach them so that they learned by heart. It doesn't work with modern students. What we do meaningful revisions. We go back to the same map, to the same pile of information as many times as possible. And every time we think of this meaningful revision, what to do with it. Yeah. So enter this memorization stage. It can last for years. Yeah? We never ask the students to learn anything by heart, but they always have this information that is compiled into one chart. And they always can go back to this chart, and they always can review this information. And that is how the construction, their computer gets the bigger memory, and that is how their surface learning turns into the deep learning. Okay, so another stage is authorization. At this stage, be ready that there will be some students who will never remember the whole map, and only when we are sure that the students have already mastered the categories, they know the connections, they can combine those categories into the meaningful, something meaningful. So only then we go to the this part of testing. Yeah. So okay. That was the quick revision, and here are the answers. Here, so about the 4 stages of learning, and the 4 stages of learning bring us to the spiral curriculum. It means that we don't teach in blocks, but every time, every year, we go back to the topics that have already been studied, but we deepen them, and we have these new spirals of the curriculum. Okay. So now let's discuss how we built these maps and how these maps work. And here is the chart. Again, I put everything into categories and charts. And here is the chart that I developed for developing charts, for developing maps. So if we think of the topic, we may think about something. Yeah? So then what group it belongs to, what parts it consists of, what qualities and characteristics it has, how it is connected with humans, if it's not a human. But if it's a human, we can talk about human needs, preference, characteristics, and so on. It is pretty difficult, but now let's try to chunk all this information and to see how we can work with this and create maps. So let's start with this part. Group, here, the group it belongs to, the object, the group, the parts, and the characteristics. We already have this wonderful map, and we need to have the symbols. We really need to have the symbols that our students will read, because with the symbols, especially when symbols represent parts of speech, it is much easier. It's so much easier to create such charts. So we have such symbols as adjective, noun, verb, noun meaning what or object, and adverb. And let's take just one here, one fruit or one vegetable, and this part of the chart. So we can characterize this, like let's take pear, or let's take a pineapple or a peach. Yeah? So, and see what we get. We have an object, a pear, for example, and the question will be, what group is it? And the answer will be, a pear is a fruit. Another question will be, what size is it, for description? Yeah? And the answer will be, it is small, it's smaller than, or bigger than. Yeah? So then we can ask about the shape, and our students will use either 2D or 3D shapes to describe it. Then color, then you see here taste, texture, and place. And you see that in what is it's not that I discovered it, it was actually my colleague, but what we discovered was that when we have this word for the category, like the word is group, yeah, or the word is size, or the word is shape, or the word is color or taste, it is easier to teach our students to build questions, because you teach this category separately, shapes, and you teach the shapes. And then the question is, what shape is a pear? And the answer will be, a pear is, let's say, a sphere. An apple is a sphere, yeah? But a pear is an oval or something like this. So, and with these words for the categories, you also develop your students' ability to ask questions. And another hint here is that very often in English, for asking the question, you go backward, like what shape is a pear? Yeah, what shape is a pear? You go backward. Shape is a pear. And then for answering, you go forward. A pear is a sphere, or an apple is a sphere. Yeah. So, and we also teach our students to use this idea for asking questions, because that is how, again, I'm talking about young learners now, but older adults as well, they are very much lost. I'm talking about Ukrainian speakers. They are very much lost in the analytical structure of the English language. So this like structure of asking questions and answering them helps a lot. So, okay, we have. Let's see what we have now. Yeah. So we have the map, and we have other categories which we already added. We added size, shape, color. We still have texture, and here we also added the places. You see that lots of topics can be connected, and they be connected not only for the purpose of description, but they are also connected for the purpose of revision. If we connect different topics, we have the chance to revise them. And the revision may be very simple. You can either ask your students to go back to the map, or you can watch the video, or you can do Quizlet or word wall, or you can do the cards. But every time you review this category in very simple words, like in a very simple technique, and then you connect the categories for something more meaningful. Now we go further, and it is already the speaking map for level 4. In Ukraine, that will be the 4th grade at school. And you see that here we already have meals. Yeah, we are talking about the dish. We're not talking about one ingredient. We're talking about the dish. And you see that here we have this fruits, vegetables, dairy, meat, fish, cereals, nuts, and grains. We have them condensed. We don't have this whole big map. Yeah. So, but we can review this map only by looking at the category. And if we look at this speaking, we will see that we have such categories as a meal, yeah? Then how it is cooked. How is this dish cooked? Yeah. So, and we have these verbs. We have ingredients, and for ingredients we have actually the categories of food, the types of food. We have condiments. Just you know, it's easy. The words like ketchup, mayonnaise, mustard, they're easy to learn them. We have tastes. And we keep talking about taste all the time. We have texture. It's I added texture here because these are good opposites to learn. We have texture, and we have the opinion about food. So our students can already talk about the dish. They can discuss what meal it is for, so how it is cooked, what ingredients are there, what the condiments are, the taste, the texture, and opinion. And this way here, again, asking these questions, having the categories, they can keep asking very clever questions, because the questions will be like, what meal is it for? How is it cooked? What ingredients is it of? What condiments is this dish good with? What taste is it? What texture is it? And what's your opinion about this dish? So another map, and this is already the map for level 5. You see that this map combines the construction of noun plus noun. We can talk of ingredients. Now these foods are already ingredients, and we can talk about the courses, the dishes. For example, think of a soup. What kinds of soup can we think of? We can have mushroom soup, we can have pumpkin soup, we can have turkey soup or cheese soup or any other kind of soup. And it is already good for the combination, which is not typical again for the Ukrainian language, but it is very typical for English, when noun plus noun is the same as in Ukrainian would be like adjective plus noun. So with this map, we can review types of food. Again, we review all these groups of food, and we combine these groups of food for naming the dish. Like we can talk about ice creams, and we can, like our students can play a game, which ice cream they like, and again, whether there can be, for example, carrot ice cream or can't. You know, like super simple songs, they have this, do you like broccoli soup? Do you like broccoli ice cream? So they can play this game, and that is how they will easily review this part again. Plus, we add a new category. Plus, again, we have condiments, we have meals, and here, so sorry, and here, okay, and here we can also practice like how it is cooked, it is boiled, stewed, grilled, baked, and also here with this pepper we practice countable and uncountable nouns, because here we can practice much, many, some, little, and few. So, and we don't have much time left, so let me please show you like the last map for, it's not the last because we have many more, but the last that really goes well with the final one, which really goes well with this topic, and it's already a recipe. And for this recipe, again, we have the ingredients, and in the ingredients we can put all the foods that we know. Then we decide what we do with them, how we cut them, how we process them, how we cook them, and how we serve them. Here we have cooking utensils, and we also use this recipe for practicing word building. For example, a carrot is peeled with a peeler, so it is peeled. A carrot is chopped with a knife, so it is chopped. It sounds really strange, but with younger kids like 5th grade, it's okay, because it helps them to understand the logics of the English language. And yeah, and that is how actually we teach them. I also have here the examples of advanced maps. It's about healthy eating, and you see that again, we have the same categories. We'll have food groups here, but now our students are already able to talk about nutrients, to talk about cooking and how they're processed, and to talk about the effect on the body. Yeah. So, and finally, like I also like to connect very different topics. And one of the ideas is to always use geography, because geography is a key. And like you see that our students, after they have talked about different climate regions, climates, they can also talk about food staples. What is the food staple for tropical climate? Why do they eat more rice than people who live in polar climates? What actually caused thus we can say that what caused this, or why the staple food became so popular. And here we have like the whole new field for discussing food again. And so it's about staple foods. So, and we can discuss the foods as well. And I also wanted to show you that actually all these questions, they will be in the international exams. Yeah, and we can develop our students not only speaking, but also thinking and understanding of the world, again, with teaching them with categories from simple ones to more advanced ones. And another idea is to connect food with Christmas dinners, which are different all over the world, and ask your students, again, maybe Christmas dinner is not the best, it's not the best topic, but still, you see the idea that we take the typical food for the celebration, and we explain this food with some regional peculiarities, with geography, and so on and so forth. So, okay, this probably, yeah, so here is the answer. And I have thinking skills, but I don't think we can talk about them now. So, please, now I will read the chart and I will answer all your questions. If you would like to follow me, I just created, it was just a couple of days ago, I just created just give me a second. I just created the Instagram account for describing all these ideas in a very simple way. I want I want other teachers to use them, and I want other teachers to use this idea of categorization, connections, going back and forth between the topics, connecting them, and developing your students' thinking skills based on what I have already said here. So, thank you very much for your really kind words. Of course, I will share the slides. I will send them to Dr. N. Newman. And so please, if you have other questions, I stop sharing. If you have any other questions, I will be really, so chatware. You know, no, not chatware, but any, you know, I use eDraw. Just give me. So this is the program that I use, but I think it is also easy to create such maps in PowerPoint. because, oh, thank you for your wonderful words. Thank you. It was a pleasure to be with you. But yeah, I would suggest if you just if you just start, I would suggest to use PowerPoint. Also, please follow me on Instagram. There I will be posting the maps and explaining how to work with them. And then maybe if you are interested, so my email is feel free to write me a message if you want a consultation, or if you want like any push. I will be really happy to help, because I know how, you know, we always create the materials that are student friendly, yeah, but in my opinion, teachers are so important, and I do everything to create the materials that would be helpful for the teachers, because it is so easy for a teacher to get frustrated and to really, you know, like not to be so involved, or to get frustrated, maybe is a good word. And when you provide a teacher with the maps, and when you give the methods of how to work with them, then every class is full. Every class is full of ideas, it is full of work, but what is more important, oh yeah, thank you about wishing peace for Ukraine and Palestine. I'm also deeply sorry for Palestine people. Yeah, it's so awful. Yeah, but my idea is that we don't need to develop our students' speaking skills from the very beginning, like teaching them dialects, or teaching them, I'm talking about younger kids, or teaching them like all these communicative things. I believe that we really need to expand their vocabulary and teach them thinking, how to think. And when they have this good bulk of vocabulary, when they know how to play with it, when they know, when they are aware of how the language works, because English is a very analytical language. It is easy to structure, but again, we need to always work with it. So then you will be a success as a teacher. Thank you so much. And any questions?
You may either type your question in the chat box or open your microphone and ask Dr. Maryna a question.
Oh, thank you so much for your good words. Thank you. I hope we'll be in touch. And if you need any help, again, please follow me, ask me, and I hope that together we will be able to make our teaching practices more rewarding.
And as Dr. Maryna said, she will be sending me her PowerPoint, which I will turn into a PDF, and it will be posted on our site, both our, I'm going to try to share my screen.
I can send you a PDF version.
Yes.
And
yes,
I will delete
okay.
some slides, the slides that we didn't actually look at today, so it was easier for you to follow.
Okay, there, I am sharing, I hope. Yes. Okay, you will notice that this is from our Tesol Kuwait site. And you can see here, here's where it advertised. But down here, notice, we have a link to the YouTube channel video. And here are the handouts. So you can get it there. Okay. I'm getting a feedback here. If you were here for 45 minutes or longer, you will receive a certificate. And those will be sent out Monday evening. Okay. It is Zoom that keeps record of how many minutes you were here, and that's what it will be based on. Again, thank you so much, Dr. Maryna. Please join us on December the 2nd, where we will be talking about AI in the classroom. Again, thank you and goodbye.
Thank you so much. I will share my Instagram link because people asked me for sharing it.